unfortunately accustomed to be in this situation, but you don't want to do that.
Get it into Davison. You got a foul. Johnny Davis on the leak out of the slam, and that's
not bad, not bad.
Good defense by Crowell on that handoff action. Davis with the deflection, and Davis with a finish.
Nice.
Davis with 26, guarded by Shed. Davis off the glass.
Boy, he sure is talented.
Yo, it's your boy Dctree, and this is Dctree-Nation, the channel on YouTube that covers hoops and heroes. And today we're talking hoops. We're talking about San Antonio Spurs, y'all. And you know we're out of the play-in, so we have to turn our attention to the draft. So I've been looking at the mock drafts lately, and the name Johnny Davis keeps coming up. And I'm being honest, I didn't do any research on this guy because if you're a fan of the channel, you already know I am not trying to hear the Spurs draft another guard. We don't need guards, no way. So I was really skipping out on this video, but I was like, let me just sit down and do some research. And the more I looked into this guy, the more I became conflicted. I'm like, this dude is good. He is good, man. I gotta be honest, but I don't think we can afford another guard on this team because of certain known factors, but factors that people at Sports Illustrated may not consider facts, or factors that only Spurs fans like ourselves would know. And I'll tell you what I mean in 1 second. But before I jump too deep into it, if you like my content, please sub to the channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to hit that bell for more videos. Thank you so much for the continued support. Okay, first off, just to go back on a point I just made, if I'm covering a video or making a video over this guy, it's legit, because I do not want the Spurs to get a guard. Like, I just jumped on the Primo bandwagon, midway through the season when we traded, Derek White and traded Forbes or whatnot, because I felt like, okay, now this Primo stuff makes sense because this guy can develop, he can play, he can make mistakes, So getting another guard, I'm still on the fence about. But one thing I will say that I like about Johnny Davis is that he has a knack for scoring. Like, he's a pure scorer. He's not the greatest shooter, but he can score on any side of the court, any side of the basket in many ways, okay? And when I look at the Spurs and how we're currently constructed, we have a knack or a tendency to go through offensive droughts where we can't get a shot off. We can't have that one-on-one player that can get us a shot all the time. Sometimes Murray does it, sometimes Keldon does it, sometimes Lonnie Walker gets hot and does it. But when I look at Johnny Davis, the game seems to come easier to him. Now, sometimes that doesn't translate to the NBA, and that's where kind of the issue comes in. I can see the Spurs getting him, especially if we're going to let Lonnie walk or whatnot, or we're going to trade Josh Richardson eventually. I could kind of see them going this route. But the issue I have is that in this draft, I feel like we need players that can help us right now, day one. And I don't think Greg Popovich is going to play Johnny Davis right off the bat, and unless Johnny Davis just has an impressive, not boot camp, but trainer's camp at the beginning. I don't know. I can't think what it's called right now. It'll come to me. But if he doesn't come to camp, just killing things, Popovich is going to send him to Austin and all this foolishness, and it's just going to be frustrating, man. Because it looks like Johnny Davis is a player that can score, but he needs the ball in his hands. It can't be, hey, we're going to play him 7 minutes a game the first half of the season. You got to play this guy. I guess what I'm trying to say is that at first I thought this was foolish to get a guard, but when I look at Johnny Davis and his game, I can see the Spurs taking a chance because we do have a talent deficit on the team. The only issue with it is I don't know if our talent deficit can be considered larger than our big man deficit. You get what I'm saying? I'm a fan of Jalen Duren. I want to go with size. I want to go with people that can help us now. And this situation here is touchy. It's very touchy because I can kind of see them picking Johnny Davis and it making sense if I'm being honest. But I'm hesitant because I don't know if Pop is gonna play him initially. And if he drafts this guy and he sends him to Austin, I promise you, I'm throwing my computer through the window. If I'm not even playing, man. So it's like, instead of going through all that, I almost rather get Jalen Duren, even if he's less talented than this guy, and have Jalen actually play every game or actually become a starter. Because we are so, so needing interior presence that is athletic and that is demanding in the paint. I don't know if we can give up on that, overlook that problem again with another guard. I hope I'm making sense. I'm trying to piece this together in my head so it's coherent and it makes sense. I wish there was a way we had maybe the number 9 pick and then maybe like the number 14 pick where we can get the big man at 9 and then scoop this brother up around 12 or 13. But the way it's looking, we're not going to pick again to probably like 21. So he's definitely not going to be on the board then. So, man, we are in a bit of a situation, a pickly situation. And Johnny Davis isn't the perfect player. I'm not trying to make him out to be the perfect player, but when you average like 20, 21 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, you can score anywhere from the floor. You're a mid-range person. He seems like he'll mesh well with Murray, to be honest with you, at the 2. And these days, you could be 6'4", 6'5", and play the 2 and be rather comfortable at the position. Very crafty player. So I could definitely see him fit. And I just don't think he's worth giving up a big. Even Sports Illustrated mentioned the Spurs may not pick him at 9 because of Jalen Duren still being on the board. So, I think they're seeing things the way I see it too. Hey, Johnny Davis would be a good player for our team, but does that overturn our desperate need for size? Because someone mentioned it in one of the forums, man. Everyone's saying Keldon Johnson had a bad game. He had a bad game in the play-in, but good God, man, he's not even a power forward. Look who he was going against. That's crazy, man. Teams are too big sometimes for us. So I don't know, man, but I have to admit, I like what I see from Johnny Davis, man. If Lonnie Walker walks, or maybe we trade Josh Richardson because he's on an expiring contract, which I think we should keep Jay Rich, honestly. Maybe there is a spot for this young man to come in and even start for us, because if you think about it, you can play Keldon and Vassell as a 3 and a 4, and you can kind of make this thing work. Okay. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Let me know in the comment section, do you like Johnny Davis? Should the Spurs go for another guard? As of right now, I still want a big man. I think that's what would help us the best. But I will acknowledge, Johnny Davis does seem like a hell of a player. When I think of Steph Curry, when I think of Klay Thompson, I think, when I think of Devin Booker, I see this guy play, I'm like, man, even if he's just a poor man's version of these players, he could really help us. And I'm not saying that he's going to be that right off the bat, but man, you almost have to kind of predict their trajectory in a sense, which is hard enough. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Check out the other videos on the channel. Hit me up in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.